Hello guys, and welcome to a special midweek episode for the Switch to Play podcast. If you haven't checked out the latest main podcast yet, there'll be an annotation on the screen you can click so you can listen to it now, and there'll also be a link in the description if you want to listen to it afterwards. This special episode is basically a discussion we had about Scottish football and how Celtic would do in the Premier League or the Championship or European competitions. It did turn into a bit of an argument, so we hope you enjoy it. Make sure you leave your thoughts and who you thought won in the comments. Thank you very much and enjoy.
Just a little quick drive over border to Scotland, to the wonderful Isles, Scotland, where lovely football is being played right now. In Scotland. I like saying Scotland for some reason. But Celtic, one of the best clubs in Scotland, probably the best. Some might argue.
But would still get relegated in the Championship.
We can't put that in. It's not true.
They would probably get relegated.
They would be in the Premier League. No, they would be in the Premier League.
They would get absolutely destroyed in the Premier League.
Just because they don't have much money in Scotland.
If
they got money, they would be one of the biggest clubs in the world. No, but if you think of Celtic's structure as a club, massive fan base, massive stadium, great support, they would get.
Yeah, well, that comes as part of the package when the rest of the teams in your league.
No, they would be a good Premier League
conference level.
No, they would be a good Premier League team.
They wouldn't.
I'm not having that. I'm not having that.
I generally do not think Celtic would be a good Premier League side.
You mad? You serious? You actually serious?
They're only decent players, Van Dijk, and he's not even good enough for bloody Sunderland.
No, but they would have money. That's the whole fucking point. In Scotland, you have hardly any money. Hardly any money in the Scottish game. That's why they have to sell their best players and then buy Swedish or Scandinavian players like Johansson.
So Cardiff, let's take them in the example, right? So they're in a different country, they're in Wales, and they're one of the biggest teams in Wales. Let's compare Swansea and Cardiff to Celtic and Rangers. So obviously Cardiff being in the Premier League, they probably got a lot of money. They have a big fan base in Wales because the rest of the Welsh League teams are shit. That does not mean they are one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Wrecked.
Hang on, no. Cardiff or Swansea have not won the fucking European Cup.
Well, yeah, because...
There you go.
If they were in
Celtic
the Welsh
are one of the biggest clubs in the world.
If they were in the Welsh League, they would have qualified and probably got in it. Just a lot harder.
No, because the Welsh League's semi-pro. That's why they're in the English leagues.
If Celtic were in the English leagues, they would not win the European Cup.
They would get... okay, hang on.
They wouldn't qualify.
They would be pushing top 7.
No.
They would be. With the money. The money they would get from the TV money. If you're thinking, come on, West Ham are in fucking Europe. Swansea have been in Europe. Celtic have got the base covered that can definitely move them up.
I tell you what, we'll speak about this again when Celtic play in the Premier League.
The thing is, Celtic will never be in English leagues, but if they were, they would be a big club. And I think if Colm was here, he would agree with me.
If Colm was here,
he would agree with me.
Would be saying that Celtic
will
be...
all the viewers, I'm pretty sure... Hang on, most of the viewers with half a brain cell would agree with me.
Alright, let's say this as an example. John Guidetti. It was really good for Celtic last season. He can't even get into a Premier League side, so you cannot say...
Hang on.
Celtic would do well in the Premier League.
He went to Celta Vigo, who have La Liga.
Right.
Celta Vigo are a big club.
Yeah, but you don't know how well he's going to do yet, do you?
Well, I know he's going to do well. He performed very well in the Under-21 Championships. He actually destroyed England.
Alright, here's another example. Chris Boyd.
Yeah, Chris Boyd.
Chris Boyd was one of the best players in the Scottish League. Middlesbrough brought him for about 7 million. He got 2 goals in his first season in the Championship, and we shipped him off on a free. I think that is the perfect example.
Well, that's one example of a failure.
No, it's one example of a bad player.
If you look at Wanyama, he's done brilliant when he's come down to England.
Lee Griffiths from
Forster.
Wolves. He was quite bad at Wolves.
Yeah, but you're just concentrating on Football League clubs and failures.
Scott McDonald.
Yeah, another failure in the Football League.
Steve McManus.
You're naming shit players right now. I'm not even joking.
No, Steve McManus, we did not think he was going to be a bad player, did we? You did not see Steve McManus and go, he's going to flop. You thought he was a good player,
No.
and he was bad.
No, I never said he was
Was
good.
bad.
No, I never said that.
Well,
Well, you've got to say Wanyama, Gudetti, Wanyama,
no, you didn't say that because you didn't care about Steve McManus because he came from the Scottish League.
Wanyama, Forster, plenty of other players.
Stephen Fletcher.
Fletcher's a decent Premier League
One
striker.
goal every 3 games for Hibs, right? And then he
No.
goes to English
No,
leagues.
he
He's
did.
one of the shittest players in
No,
the
he
Premier
didn't. He did very well at Wolves. He's kept them up for a 2 or 3
There are
seasons.
going to be good players coming from Scotland, aren't there? You know, they're...
I think you're being very disrespectful for our northern cousins.
No, I'm saying there are obviously going to be like clubs. You know, there are going to be clubs that there are going to be good players coming from the Scottish League because people are born good players. You know, all over the world, and they start off in the Scottish League and they come over like Fraser Forster. You know, he's clearly a really good goalkeeper. You know, he's been fantastic with Southampton, but you cannot say Celtic. Because of someone like Forster's success, we can never say for sure if Celtic are going to be a good or bad Premier League or even Championship side, because they're never going to play there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, Celtic are a big club. You get players talking about Celtic saying, "Oh, I want to join Celtic." They're a huge club, and not many clubs in the world, especially in lesser leagues, because the Scottish League is a lesser league, I'd say, saying about that, they don't attract as many good players because the chief exec he just doesn't spend enough money on the players, and he just likes to sell and then buy cheap because he wants to make the money. He doesn't want to lose too much money.
We're just saying that had Celtic been in a different league, they wouldn't be as big as they are while they're in the Scottish League.
No, they would be bigger, clearly. What?
Nah.
Yeah, they are. They would be bigger. Because Celtic win the league every year in Scotland, they have no competition at the moment.
Stevie May.
Like Aberdeen at the moment.
He's absolutely shit.
Yeah, Stevie May. He wasn't very good in the SPL.
He's all.
About 15 goals, not too many. Not too many. And it's sometimes the culture and all that. It doesn't always work. You can take the Dutch league.
Yeah, but you're saying, right?
You can take the Dutch league. Marvin Emnes, there you go, that's a flop. Marvin Emnes, he come from Dutch league and flopped in England. But then you can get Luis Suarez. You can get Suarez, who was absolutely world class.
You saying the Dutch League is on the same level as the SPL?
What?
So the point you're making is the Dutch League is the same level as the
No,
SPL?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm comparing countries.
Signed Marvin Emnes when he was 20 years old.
Hang on, wait, hang on. Hang on. This is my point. Hang on. You can speak after I finish my point. I'm saying, I'm comparing countries, because Michael's saying there's loads of flops from Scotland, but I'm just saying I'm taking another country, and there's flops from other countries, but there's also some very good players that's come from certain leagues, like Luis Suarez. He's been amazing. He was amazing in the Premier League. World class. Such a good striker. Van Nistelrooy.
You can't judge how
You
good
can't.
Scotland is.
Not every country
We're
has a fucking world class player. Like world class players always coming to England.
Mikey.
Where you do not see Championship and League One rejects ripping up the Dutch division. You see Championship and League One rejects ripping up the Scottish division.
Yeah, because they don't want to go to.
We cannot judge how good Celtic or any other team in the SPL how good they are on the players that come out and play in different leagues. We can say they've had good players and bad players all day long that have played in the Championship and the Premier League. But if you're judging a team like the point we're making is that had Celtic been in England or in the Premier League or Championship, they would not be qualifying for. They wouldn't be qualifying for Europa League
I think they would.
because because you're saying they've got a great base. They've got
Yeah.
the fans.
Yeah,
they've
they would
got,
get a lot of money. They would get
have the
so
money,
much
they would
money.
have a lot more money. But if they were in the Premier League, they wouldn't have as many fans. Like, they wouldn't have all those fans that they've got now, because winning or tearing up the Premier League every season, there would just be another team. They'd be like Swansea or at best Southampton. You know, they wouldn't be. You know, they'd have money, but they would not be winning the Europa League or qualifying for the Europa League every single season.
Oh, I just completely disagree. They would clearly get to the Europa League. They would get into the Europa League. They've just got. It's just because Scotland have a minuscule amount of money.
Had
they
if
don't
Celtic
deserve.
did
If they had if there was a lot of money in Scottish football, they'd do a lot better in the Champions League, and they do amazing in the Champions League with their squad and the money around Scottish football to get to like the last 16. Incredible. Seriously, it's such an amazing achievement.
We're
And they
there.
beat Barcelona.
So me and Tom are saying that the current squad that Celtic have would not get in the Europa League. You're seeing it as the fan base that they have and their like
Although clearly
structure
sign players if
and
they
the money
want
they
to,
have,
wouldn't they?
that would allow them to buy the players to
Yeah.
get in the Europa League.
Yeah, certainly. They would attract so like much better quality players.
So the 7 European spots. So you're saying that Celtic would be better than either Tottenham Hotspur, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United.
No, man,
You're saying that Celtic would be above one of them.
yeah.
Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, Man United, Tottenham, Liverpool, Southampton.
If they had the money, and they would recruit well. If they recruited well,
This
then
is
they-
all hypothetical. Yeah.
but they would be a lot better than Southampton.
If they had a lot of money, they could potentially blow it all. They could blow it all on players they think are good and that are bad, or they could make world-class signings. They win Champions League. We don't know.
No, they
could
wouldn't win.
also get relegated. It's hypothetical, and at the end of the day, it's, you know, you couldn't say they'd be good, you know, with hypothetical money, hypothetical fans.
But one thing we can agree on is that Scottish managers are much better than English managers.